Hi everyone, Gruntle here, and this is my guide to legendary and unique weapons in Borderlands the pre-sequel. This episode we're looking at Old Painful, which is a unique assault rifle manufactured by Vladof. So you can get this from Ujirima, or you could get this from Ujirima during the 2014 Mercenary Day in-game event that was part of his loot pool. However, I have got it through a save editor and you can also use that too. I'm great with the English language. Anyway, so it's always going to be spawned in incendiary damage type, and it's always going to have this barrel, the spinny gun barrel, that is the unique barrel for this weapon. The rest of the parts can vary, and same with the prefix, of course. Now the red text here, come on in, Old Painful is waiting, and the name Old Painful and the fact that it's a spinny gun are all references to the minigun carried by Blaine in the film Predator, I believe. According to the wiki page, which I've linked in the description underneath the like button, that is what that is from. Now onto the parts of this weapon. It has a dial grip, and that is to give it increased accuracy and less recoil, which is helpful because this, with the spinny gun attachment and the high fire rate, the accuracy isn't very good, even though the accuracy on the card says 87.9. The recoil, I think, is what makes it less accurate. It has a dull stock, of course, and that is increasing the accuracy and giving recoil reduction, recoil recovery, of course. And then we've got the Vladof sight because that looks good with the Vladof body. Finally, we're looking at the prefix. On this version, I've got Resolute prefix, which comes from the foregrip attachment, and I've got that on there to increase the accuracy and stability of the weapon, because that is going to help me get more critical hits when I'm firing it and things like that. So now if we compare it here to a spinny gun with the same parts, another Vladof, and it's in purple version, you can see that the damage is actually decreased compared to that. So is the accuracy slightly. The fire rate and magazine size are slightly increased. Well, the magazine size is greatly increased, and the fire rate is slightly increased, at a decent amount. And then the rest of the stats are the same. There are no special critical hit damage or anything increases to this Resolute Old Painful. However, the very cool thing about this weapon is how it fires. So I'll show it here. You expect it to have bullets, but it's a laser, or at least it appears to be a laser. It doesn't actually get buffed by laser damage buffs. I checked it out with what's his name, Wilhelm, who has the laser buffs, and it didn't increase the damage because of that. And also another strange thing is that the bullet decal, it looks like a bullet rather than, it doesn't look like what a laser should look like, which is either a scorch or nothing at all, I think. But I'm not sure how the rest of the lasers look. I can't really remember from the other videos that I've done. I should remember, but I don't. Now if we look at the spread pattern of it with all of the accuracy increasing parts, it's still pretty high spread, or pretty big spread, and even aim down sights, it'll be a pretty big spread. Not too bad, but not as good as it could be. And then if we move really far back, of course you're going to get that even worse, even aim down sights, or that's just insane. Hence the need for the stability grip thing and the all of the rest of that stuff, dial grip, dial stock, that's all good stuff. So what you're going to want in a character to use this is someone who's going to buff incendiary damage. So I'm using Athena, as she's got her Maelstrom, which is going to give buffs to elemental damage. And you could also use a character that's going to make it more accurate, such as Nisha. She would be able to get more of the shots off on the critical spot or around the body, onto the critical, with the increased critical chance. All of that stuff that Nisha does, you should already know about, or you probably already know about. And it will need more critical hit damage, or more damage from critical hits and things like that, as the damage isn't that high. It's not really too much of an in-game weapon, I don't think. However, it might be good for boss fights because of the really big magazine size and the high fire rate, meaning you can just put a lot of damage into the boss. If they have their shield lost and they're not armored, then they won't resist the damage like the armored enemies do. So yes, that is pretty much everything about this weapon until we move on to the gameplay with Athena, and we'll be in Overlook, of course. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I was going to check if this was making the sound. I've got to turn the sound on now. Might come through the microphone for a second. Yeah, so it has been making the noise. I'm not sure what's up with the chiming sound in the background. I think from what I've seen, it's supposed to be only on the ice screen, but it sounds like it might be on actually every Vladof. So maybe it's not just supposed to be the ice cream, maybe it's something that's with all Vladofs with a spinning gun attachment. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. Help me, guys. Help me. I'm recording too many things at once. I'm not getting help from the audience. I need the audience. I'm so confused. Anyway, enough rambling. Onto the gameplay. So here we are in Overlook with Athena and the Old Painful. And already it's actually doing a decent amount of damage to the enemies. The fact that it has such a high fire rate and reasonable accuracy, not that great, but reasonable, means that it can pretty much tank through enemies' shields, and then especially with the flesh enemies, the incendiary damage does a lot of damage to them, despite the fact that the damage on the card is quite low, because you can get a bunch of shots off on the enemy in a short period of time, which is very useful. Now on the armored enemies, it is less effective, however it's way more effective than I expected it to be, just because of that increased fire rate. That also means it's decent for getting out of fight for your life mode, as you can just aim around an enemy and just hold down the trigger. The very high magazine size is something that helps with that too. You can just shoot for quite a long time and tank through their damage, which is great. I do like the fact that it also looks like a laser. It's kind of a cool aspect. I like that they put laser-ish firing on non-laser weapons. I think that's quite a cool thing. So definitely, if you can either get this weapon from a friend or maybe save it in if you're okay with doing that, this is a fun weapon to use. So I hope you have fun using this weapon. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. If you want to read more about the old Shredder, well, not old Shredder, no, it's an Old Painful. If you want to read more about it, there's a link in the description below the like button to the wiki page. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure you subscribe if you'd like to see more of these weapon guides from me. Catch you later, guys.